Let's start it off, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, welcome to a new end of the month Q&A. It's already been a month, and for those who never seen one of these pop up on the YouTube before, at the end of the month, as a little thank you to those who went above and beyond and subscribed to the Twitch channel, I like to put the chat room in an hour-long subscriber mode where people can ask me questions. Does that mean you have to subscribe to me to ask me questions? Of course not. You can always ask me questions during the Twitch streams. You can always send me private messages on Facebook, on Twitter, all that good stuff. I try to reply to comments on YouTube, so there are plenty of ways, and this is just my way of saying thank you to those who went above and beyond. So without further ado, let's turn on the clock and let's get this show on the road. Let me do this. Voila. Howdy chat room. Audio's okay, that's good to know. Have you ever been to Archeon? I'm going there for a school trip tomorrow. I've been there actually. It's a lot of fun, man. You're going to have a great time. It's a lot of fun. LGK Agami, thank you very much for subscribing. In the meantime, why did Talkov betray Velen when they tried to run away from Archimonde and kill Jaden? I don't think it was explained in the book. As far as I remember it, and in Wonderland, it was Sargeras got to him and killed Jaden got to him before Velen did. So he was already enticed with the idea of incredible power, immortality. You know, what we see in Warlords of Draenor is that the idea that joining Sargeras is a bad thing is not shared by everyone. If you look at Sokrafar, for example, that's a prime example. He's still recruiting people, and still Draenei accept joining the Burning Legion. So some people just don't see it as a bad thing, and they wanted to actually join him, and that's why he betrayed Velen to Sargeras. Do I own any nudes of myself? Maybe? No idea. Right, oh god. Ladies and gentlemen, Riceborn is in the chat room. Here we go. Every transaction in the future is free. Every time you want to buy something, there's a guy who shows up, licks his fingers, and sticks it in your bumhole for 5 seconds. But he pays for everything you ever want to buy. But you can also not make any transaction on your own. Like any transaction on your own. So what you're saying is, this world, every 5 seconds you want to buy something, this guy comes up and he sticks something up your bum. Is there a question in there, Riceborn, or is this you fantasizing right now? Is there any lore to the two races in Northrend? I think it was the Wild Hearts and the Oracles. There were also the Tonka. The Tonka are pretty much what you see with the Tauren. When Tauren move to a certain area, they'll evolve in fitting off that area. Like Northrend was cold, so you got the Tonka. They moved to Pandaria, where it was like hot and they needed fire, and they transformed to Yangol. So they were originally Tauren, and they evolved into that. The Oracles and the... I know which one you're talking about, the Wolf Hearts. I would have to look that one up, to be honest. That might be a very good video for a Q&A in the future. Or like a good question for a future Q&A. I remember that they had a war with each other and you had to pick a faction. I remember that they had like the crystal bit going on, but I would have to really research that one. So I'll keep it in mind and I'll add it to the next Q&A video. In-class change common in lore, like when an orc shaman becomes a warlock. Common, yeah. Well, it kind of depends on what you find as common, but there have been multiple occasions where somebody switches sides. Primarily the shamans who lost their ability to be shamans because the elements with the orcs were like, oh no, what you're doing is not the right thing, so we're not going to help you anymore. And in that case, they embraced the warlock powers. Have there been any other scenarios, like plenty of mages that fall into the dark side who also joined the Legion Fel Magic side? Can't really recall any druids that turned into shamans though. It's mainly like joining the Fel Magic side. So from the top of my head I can't really come up with one that switched over besides that. So yeah. Do you believe Kargov Bladefist will play a further role in the Warlords of Draenor expansion? No, Kargov died at the end of Heimal, or at least in the final battle at Heimal. In the past, in the beta, they had a moment where Kargov like ran away on a different difficulty, and the way that I understand it is that they had a different story in mind for him. But as you know, a lot of things got cut out of Warlords, a lot of things changed, they shifted around, so that story never made it in. And now Kargov just dies in Heimal. Will you take your head off for us? I've had plenty of streams without my head on, Dr. Foggy Pants. It's just whenever I take my head off, people are like, "Oh my god, put your head back on!" And I'm like, "Aw, that hurts my feelings." But yeah, I have no problem with taking off my head. It's just that I like wearing them. And of course, that's where I keep my lore. So now it's all gone. End of the Q&A. Sorry, I don't know anything anymore. I am Nobble Snow. Peace. Would you do it? Would you accept this gift? Sure. Yeah, it kind of depends on how forceful though, the Iceborn. But if he's gentle, sure, no problem. Why have you never done a video about Thrall? Is it because you're saving up for 1 million subscribers or something? I think it would be a waste. Mainly it's like, why haven't you done a certain storyline? It's mainly due to time. Like, making videos takes a lot of time, and often I need a reason or motivation. Like, the Kil'Thuzad storyline is also a big one, and I picked him because he's now a hero in Heroes of the Storm. But if you look at Thrall, that dude's storyline, I think we'll have to make like the month or 2 months of Thrall to tell it all. He's done so much for the storyline. And it's just a matter of haven't gotten to it yet. Same with Arthas, same with Vol'jin, same with who else do you got? Gelbin and all those characters. So my plan with the YouTube channel is to one day have every single storyline done. But yeah, it's gonna come. In German it's the Wildherzen, which means wild hearts. Right, gotcha. Nobble can create your character's lore now? My character's lore? No. I have no inspiration at all, and I'm probably gonna use that in my video where I explain what I want to do with the upcoming series, so no. Do you think the artifact used to make the Ashbringer is in this Draenor? And if so, would it have been better to use that for the legendary, such as using the Furies to power the artifact based on spec like the Light did? Like, the origin of the Ashbringer is uncertain. Some speculate that it's part of the Naru, some speculate it's one of the Atamal crystals brought with Velen. The simple truth is we don't know, but it could have been very cool to have that, like the jewel inside your ring. But then you gotta wonder, like, how many pieces can you get out of a single crystal? Because everybody's gonna run around with that legendary ring, right? So it could have happened. I just don't think it would be a badass idea. And empowered by the Fury, sir, the whole storyline you could develop behind it could be. Yeah, I'm wondering if it would actually be an improvement. Like right now, the legendary questline, it was fun, but it felt very disconnected. Like you gathered items that you never heard about, besides the Apexis crystals. You gathered the Arakoa item, you gathered the Heart of Fury, some sort of book that you never heard about, and that was it. Maybe adding an element like that, like this crystal is rumored to be part of the Ashbringer, go collect it. That could have been really cool. But at the same time, if we got that, why not make another Ashbringer? Or make something else epic? So yeah, there's a lot to be said about it. Could I get some shared love? It's 12 years today since my brother passed away. And I have some drinks to celebrate the life that he had, since I feel that it's more right to be happy and cheer for the life they had, than to be sad and cry for them being gone. Do you agree? Absolutely, Akros. To your brother, man. 12 years already. Jeez, hope you're okay. And it's a very good mentality, absolutely. And in Wonderland, so warlocks are kind of evil. Not necessarily, because evil and good is just part of the point of view. Take the Titans, for example. We, as the players, should see the Titans as a good force. But the Mentids, they saw the Titans as the usurpers, like an evil force. So, good and bad is always from a point of view. In general, I would say the Warlocks are kind of evil. They're usually aligned with the Burning Legion. They're usually sucking on the delicious Fel magic. They use souls, they use demons. You know, usually they're pretty damn evil, yeah. It's not without reason that being a Warlock actually changes your appearance or tears away pieces of your soul. So it's part of it. Give Bliss Tira van Kort an NPC in-game that you know of after everything that happened in Vol'jin Shadows of the Horde? Not that I know of, Ajax, not that I know of. And for those wondering, Tira van was like a hunter that played a massive part in Shadows of the Horde. But before that moment he never existed, so I don't think so. But I could be wrong. Maybe if you type in Wowhead Tirafan, if it's in the game, then Wowhead should show it. Kel'Thuzad Mage to Necromancer Lich. True. Very good example. Since we're in alternate reality, shamans like Thrall can obviously embrace the elements. But how are they different? Obviously elements on Draenor will not react the same as Azeroth. They are different in the sense of they feel different, they communicate different, but besides that they, you know, spells don't really change and they act pretty much the same. It was in the novel... I think it was in The Shattering, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it was The Shattering that Thrall traveled to Outland. Yeah, Thrall traveled to Outland to discover what was going on with Azeroth, and he took with him a piece of the world of Azeroth, and he handed it over, and they were like, "Ooh, it feels so different, but ooh, it's distressed." And there are minor differences, but overall, it's pretty much the same. I couldn't handle a month of Thrall, right? Was it only orcs there could be shamans at Draenor? At first, as far as we know, they were. I'm trying to think if the Arakoa or other races... No, you also had the Lion race that were shamans. So no. The reason... No. No, simple answer. No, orcs were not the only ones that were shamans. And besides that, you also had... What was he called? The dude from Unbroken, the first shaman of the Draenei. Nobundo, yeah. You also had Nobundo, which is a prime example of a race embracing shamanism. Nobundo used to be a Draenei. By the red mist used by the Legion, he was disconnected from the light, and for a long time he transformed from Draenei into Broken, and at some point the elements started to talk to him, right? And he became a shaman, the first shaman of the Draenei. So that's a prime example of a shaman being born. And if you're looking for a very cool short story, I can highly recommend Unbroken. It's very well written. Are there any rumors that 6.2 will not be the final patch? Oh, as there are rumors that 6.2 will not be the final patch. What do you think it will contain, considering they wrap up the Burning Legion and Grom stories, not to mention that we actually finished the Legendary Ring, so Gul'dan must be dealt with as well. What is left? The Krajn asks, as far as I know, they changed the quest text when it comes to Khadgar. So they changed it that it's no longer Khadgar's final task. So it could very well be that the Legendary is not entirely done at the end of the patch. That's a possibility. So for all we know, Gul'dan and the Khadgar storyline has changed, or it's going to continue. For all we know, Gul'dan is going to be at the Dark Portal and be like, "Fuck you, bitches!" Excuse my language. "Screw you, bitches!" That sounds a lot better. I'm gonna go to alternate Azeroth now. I'm gonna party with Corrupted Medivh again, and we're gonna have a grand old time. That could be a thing. But on the other hand, you could also say that it's just going to be a little upgrade patch. That we're going to get a selfie stick and just a couple of minor life improvements. Which would suck, but we don't know. So my advice right now is to not get your hopes up too much. Warlords has been hyped up. It's been disappointing. Let's see how 6.2 is going to go, and then we can worry about 6.3. That would just be my recommendation, though. Let's see. Thrall Goel would take so many installments. It would, yep. You get 1 million euros, but for 5 years, all your shirts and jackets has to be 3 sizes too small. Yes or no? Yes, easy. What do you think about the emblems Blizzard implemented with the Burning Crusade and put out at the end of Pandaria? I think it'd be a good thing to implement them again. I'm not sure if the emblem system is the way to go. But I would like an alternate catching up mechanic. Like I've said it a couple of times. I was a fan of Justice and Valor Points. And look at that, 2 Corrupted Ashbringers. How the frick are you doing that? How are you doing this? Transmogrify to the Corrupted Ashbringer, because why the frick not? Anyways, that can't be legal, but I won't tell. I won't spill your secrets. Anyways, I was a fan of Justice and Valor Points. I like the mechanic, I like the epic that dropped at the end of Heroic, and I wouldn't mind such a system back. I think that the Apexa system is a big failure. Not so much the system in which it's delivered. It's pretty bad, but it's not, you know, the end of the world. But more because there's no reason to spend the Apexis crystals. I got a total of 24,000 right now. I haven't touched those Apexis dailies in months. And I've heard that you need to do them for 6.2. And I'm already like, ugh, no, please, no. Filling up the bar is so boring. But there you go, that's the system they go with. And on top of that, I think it's not so much the system that it's delivered in, I think it's the rewards. Like the catch-up mechanic for the gear is fine, but next to that you had challenge modes and LFR, which completely nullified the need to have that gear. The mounts I can't care less about, and there's no real reason for me to get Apexis crystals because there's no real carrot at the end of that stick. There's no real reason for me to get those Apexis crystals. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a good catch-up mechanic, maybe some more cosmetic rewards, maybe some more actual gear that could compete with something. Just you know, people need a motivation to do something, and if you can put a store mount in there, you can give people cosmetic rewards. Simple as that. And this cash grab, what they're doing is just ridiculous. It really is, and it's not healthy for the game. But you know, that is that. Can you make my character's lore now? A panda monk. Once upon a time, there was a panda monk named Yunzai. Yunzai stepped outside his home of the wandering turtle. Right outside, he saw a little flower. A flower he had never seen before. And he thought to himself, hey, where's this flower from? And his brother told him that it was from Azeroth. So Yunzai, the panda monk, jumped into a flying ship and went to Azeroth and saved the day. And once he defeated the Lich King, he looked down and he saw in the Lich King's pocket the flower he had seen on the Wandering Isle Turtle. You might wonder, how is that possible? Well, once upon a time, this flower, Arthas was sitting in Icecrown Citadel, he was looking at this flower, and he was like, oh Jaina, I miss you so much, and he was like, blew it away, because it was an ice crystal, right? And with magic, it flew over to the Wandering Isle Turtle, where it landed, and it blossomed into a beautiful flower, and that's where the Panda Monk Yunzai found it. Origin story. I just don't know what you're gonna do after Lich King, but there you go. You found the flower, you found your mate for life, and then you go off into happy little adventures. Let's see. Time for me to leave. Alright, Nike DK. See you later, matey. So many questions of Ultimate Doom. Do you have lore behind the Tauren and their leader Bane and Cairn? Like, have we had any other big Tauren characters in the backstory behind the Tauren? Lotta, I've done the story behind... what was he called? Oh, Sunwalker Desco. And I've done that one in my video called Dominance Offensive. Which was quite sad, actually. It was really sad. And I think I've also done it in his short story. So that's a massive Tauren character. I've talked about Megafa Grim Totem. I'm just trying to remember in which one. But I've talked about it a couple of times. Maybe one of the Q&As. And I think I've done Bane in the Who Will Be the Next War Chief video. So if you're looking for Tauren lore, there should be some videos out. So we know that Arthas is one of your favorite characters, Warder of Lore. Who would you want to be our next main antagonist? Corrupt Medivh would be so cool. Like, I really enjoyed the Medivh storyline, right? It sucks that they introduced Medan, but how cool would it be? I don't think it will ever happen, but how cool would it be if they link alternate Draenor to alternate Azeroth and we get the party with corrupted Medivh, still under the influence of Sargeras. We get to meet Anduin Lothar, we get to meet an even younger Khadgar, younger Varian Rin, the King of Stormwind, Garona, all that good stuff, all the story told in Rise of the Horde, no, in The Last Guardian. And it ties in really well with the upcoming Warcraft movie. I think that would be so cool, but I just don't see it happen because it would cause a lot of time travel complications. But then again, they also went with Warlords of Draenor and just said, screw the lore! We will do whatever we want. So it could happen. That would be cool. And besides that, Kill Jaden, fully powered, could be a great amboss to Burning Legion expansion. Or Azara with N'Zoth would also be great. I forgot what books you said would make my mom read. I would recommend War of the Ancients for your mother. If a deaf person loses a finger, does it become a speech impediment? You have to Google that one. I'm sure that there's an answer to that one. I have no clue. But I love you, Riseborn. I really do. Do you think there was Dwarf Shamans from the beginning or just added because of gameplay reasons? We could look that up. Dwarf Shaman Wowpedia. I'm sure there's a reason behind it with the whole Wildhammer cleanse. Dwarf Shamans. The reason for Dwarf Shamans aren't entirely known. But it likely has to do with the alliance with the Wildhammer Dwarves. A suggestion is that due to the creation of the Council of Three Hammers, the Wildhammer Dwarves are part of Idaforge. As such, we were able to play with them, as now they are part of Idaforge. This is also true in the case of why dwarves can become mages through the inclusion of the Dark Iron Dwarves. Another theory is that Magni Bronzebeard's sacrifice allowed the dwarves to become close to the elements, as they've been close to the earth for such a long time. So basically, what they're saying is that the Wildhammer Dwarves always had shamans amongst them, and because they now joined the Council of Three Hammers, you can now actually play as a Dwarven Shaman. So that could be it. Yeah. Now if you would let me scroll the chat, that would be great. I can't decide if I'm gonna read Arthas next or the Dark Portal. Which one do you recommend? Like Beyond the Dark Portal? It kind of depends. Have you read Rise of the Horde and The Last Guardian? If so, then I would recommend Beyond the Dark Portal. And Tides of Darkness as well. Otherwise, pick up the Arthas book. Great one. How were Draenei able to be paladins? Did they start when they were on Draenor, or did the humans teach them? They were already paladins, or vindicators, I think they call themselves, with the aid of the Naaru. Now, if you're gonna ask me, were they already paladins before the Naaru? Then I don't know. But I would say no. I would say from the moment that the Naaru showed up and embraced the light and whatnot, from that moment on they became paladins, but I could be wrong about that one. But to your question, they were already paladins before they came to Azeroth. Are you going to do a video on Kel'Thuzad? Do you think that in Arakoa could get their own raid? 1, yes. Can't give you a time, but yes, it's gonna happen. 2, I would have loved to see an Arakoa raid. If you read the scrolls of the Arakoa, it says that the Apexis civilization was working on a floating city in the sky. But yeah, I don't think we will see it, but it could have been a great raid for sure. Who win in a fight? Geralt from Witcher or Talion from Shadows of Mordor? I don't know either one of them. So I'll leave chat room to answer that one. I think the less questions people ask about WoW lore, the better job you have done talking about it all. I hope that's a compliment. I've been playing League of Legends for a week and a friend suggested Heroes of the Storm. Would you give some reasons why I should jump over, and what are your thoughts on the differences between them? Akros, this is from somebody who never really played League of Legends. But what I've heard and what I've heard from other people is that Heroes of the Storm is to League of Legends as the League of Legends is to Dota. As in, it's more viewer friendly, more player friendly, it's easier to get into. So if you're looking for a more challenging game, then I would, and popular game, because League of Legends is insanely popular, then I would go with League of Legends. If you're looking for a more easier to jump into game, then I would go with Heroes of the Storm. I personally never was able to get into League of Legends, I just never got. But I did very much enjoy Heroes of the Storm. I just love to pick up my stitches and go into the battlefield and just eat a couple of people and laugh at it. You're less of a reliability for your team. Like, if you mess up, they can still kind of win if you just do a little bit. Whereas to League of Legends, if you mess up or you feed or whatnot, you're still screwed. So that's my experience. Thanks, Janzai. The Arthas flower is actually very romantic. Aww. I'm sad. Can you comfort me? I hope so. Come here, John Q. Let me give you a big hug, bruh. It's gonna be okay, man. Tomorrow's a new day. And you know what they say? Na regen komt zonneschijn. Which means after a rainy day, the sun will come out, you'll get rainbows. And as life darkens, as life can get very dark sometimes, remember that, you know, tomorrow is a mystery. You never know what's gonna come next. So cheer up. I felt a few awkward asking all my questions, so it feels the chat. Be free, man. This is your moment. This is your moment. Are you personally satisfied with Gromash's end? I feel like he has been such a huge character throughout the lore, and his death just felt like another Thrall kill steal. I'm gonna assume that you meant Garrosh, Manix, because Grommash still is kicking. In the case of Garrosh, on the one hand, I'm okay with it. It neatly ties up the whole Garrosh Thrall story arc that started all the way back in the Burning Crusade. And I think there's nobody better than Thrall to, you know, end it. Fix his mistakes, be done with it. What I found bad about the whole story arc is why didn't they let Thrall end it at the end of the Siege of Orgrimmar? And I've mentioned this before. They turned Garrosh into a plot device, a way for us to get into Draenor, and I was really hoping at the time that Garrosh would get some story development, that he would realize that his vision of the Horde was not right, that he would get closer to Thrall as Thrall would get closer to Garrosh's mindset. None of that happened. What we saw was the same Garrosh that we saw at the end of the Siege of Orgrimmar, and nothing changed. And they could have done that differently. They could have let Thrall kill him at the end of the Siege of Orgrimmar, end that storyline, and then let somebody else go into Warlords of Draenor. Let Kairos himself disguise himself as an orc and introduce us to the warlords and whatnot. They could have done it as well. But now that I say this, it might have been because they were scared of people complaining that once again Thrall took out Garrosh. But then again, why did they let Thrall take out Garrosh later on, you know? Yeah, so that's my opinion about that one. What do you think is the saddest lore moment? There was one moment that comes to mind, and this is actually recently added, Warlords of Draenor. If you remember the questline in Talador, you had to go into a cave, and there was this blood elf in the middle, and she was causing trouble, she was like draining arcane magic and whatnot. So we had to go in, fix the mine, we had to take her out, and that was done. At the end of the questline, you actually pick up a letter, a tear-stained letter, in which it reads that she's like a terrible mage, and that they're kicking her out, and that she should go back to basket weaving or something like that. And I was like, oh, you poor thing. They kicked you out, and you know, you went a little bit nuts, but it was still very sad. So I thought that questline was really, really sad. I probably misquoted a little bit, but yeah, I thought that was sad. Like, can we go out here? Please, senpai, let me out. Thank you. No, I wanna, I wanna get out. Alrighty. 26 minutes in. Cool. I think Blizzard should make Warcraft 4 and give us people we can kill in the next 4 expansions. I wouldn't say no to Warcraft 4 though, although it's difficult to have a Warcraft 4 as well as a World of Warcraft at the same time. That's just very difficult. When is the Warcraft movie releasing? I believe it's June 2016 that the new date is, but I'm not entirely sure. You think it would be a good idea? Blizzard introduced a mount you raise yourself. That would be really cute. That's why I like the Winter Saber mount so much. It has a little bit of a questline behind it. So I think that would be really cute. Yep. Don't let Blizz hear you about cloning people or we end up with double Thrall, right? How did goblins get shamans? They aren't protecting the land, they are polluting it with it. Money. I'm gonna look it up and I can almost guarantee you that it has something to do with money or greed. Not much is known currently about goblins as shamans, however with the reach of the Cataclysm, goblins have joined the races who wield the elements. As the shaman trainer is present before meeting the orcs, goblins may have learned shamanism from their former jungle troll oppressor, who now serves the goblins, according to a comment made by Foreman blah blah blah. Yeah, here we go. Goblin shamans are an extension of their society's single-minded devotion to making a profit. To a goblin shaman, elementals are potential customers. Oh boy. So apparently they could have were trained by the jungle troll, was oppressing them. That could be a possibility. But they are using it for money. Are you shocked? I am surprised and shocked right now. I think I was scrolling down the wrong chat at the same time, huh? Oops. Here we go. Let's see, which is in your opinion the best realm to play on for Alliance and Horde respectively? I'm not into hardcore raiding at all. I have no clue, man. Maybe somebody in the chat room can help you out with that question, but I usually when I pick a realm, I just go to the recommended realm tab if you make a new character. Otherwise I go where friends are. or check the WoW forums and ask around there, like, what realm would you recommend? This is not my territory, I'm sorry. Would you play a game like Witcher and Shadow of Mordor with a WoW skin and WoW lore? Ooh, Shadows of Mordor with a WoW skin. That would be fucking epic. But who would you be taking out though? Like demons and shit? Yeah, I would love that, man. Sign me up. And watch some Warcraft. Oh, sorry. Also, which hero is your favorite in Heroes of the Storm? Stitches. For now, but I haven't played in quite some time. I've heard that they nerf Stitches, but I love just the ability to eat somebody and then puke them out again. It was really cool. I watched some Warcraft 3 videos, and I came to the conclusion that I don't think Elune is a Naaru, because don't the Naaru come from another planet, which means that the Night Elves have their own god in the same sort of strength as the old gods. Naaru come from the Twisting Nether. Really? Really now? Was this absolutely necessary? Naaru come from the Great Dark Beyond, which is like the complete unexplored territory for Azeroth. That's what they call the Great Dark Beyond. So it's anyone's guess as to where exactly they come from. But it's not impossible to think that the Naaru were near Azeroth at the time, and and that the Night Elves just embraced her as a god. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that, but just keep in mind that it was the one and only Velen who suggested it, and that Velen has been right about things like this before. And that back in the day when he told the orcs that their so-called gods were a Naaru, that the orcs were like, "Zug zug, no they're not, you're stupid, gonna kill you now." And the Night Elves have a pretty similar attitude to that, like, no, no, it's not, no, I don't care what you say, it's not. So yeah. It could be, you know, we don't know. For all we know, Elune is something entirely else. We don't know. When I was in the Netherlands, I ate bitterballen and I loved it. What do you have to say about bitterballen? Oh, bitterballen are good, Hamzi, but I would recommend a croquette over a bitterball. Bitterball are more like little treats that you do while watching football. Whereas croquette are like snacks that you do with the French fries, which is freaking delicious. Speaking of which, I think I want to eat some French fries now. What time is it? Yeah, I should have time to get some French fries later on. Garrosh, you are my son. Is it just the Garrosh plot use of an object to noble or the whole war crimes trial thing? I'm not so upset about the war crimes trial thing. I mean, a trial in Azeroth is pretty darn ridiculous. Because why didn't they put Illidan on trial? Or why didn't they put Deathwing on trial, you know? So the setup is pretty ridiculous, but I can appreciate it for how they used it. They used it to tie up loose ends of Mr. Pandaria. They used it to revisit a bit of the old lore, and it led into Wars of Draenor. In that regard, I can appreciate it, but I understand that people are like, a trial? What the frick? Why? I can understand that sentiment, but besides that, War Crimes, I appreciated it. Warlords of Draenor is the saddest lore moment. Aww. Kindy. Kindy was sad, yeah. Kindy was also very sad. Same with Alexstrasza and their eggs being rubbed on her skills. That was also not a good one. Edobo, I don't know if I'm able to ask another question. In the Wars of the Draenor trailer, it showed Grommash about to die from Archimonde, about to explode, and Garrosh pushed him out of the way. I thought it was only Fro and Grommash there, and not Gul'dan and other orcs. Then you need to watch the cinematic again, Parnom. There were like a bunch of orcs there. Grommash and Gul'dan were there, and it was the moment that Gul'dan offered Grommash demon blood. And that's where the events changed. Whereas Grommash was like, "No, Gul'dan, screw you and your blood." So Mannoroth comes out. Garrosh waves his little torch. They shoot Mannoroth. Grommash attacks Mannoroth. Mannoroth is about to explode, similar to what happened during Warcraft 3. And blow up his father. And Garrosh is like, "No, not again! Daddy! Don't die!" And he was like, BOOM! It was a really cool moment, by the way. A really nice touch. But that's how it happened. The rest of your question I don't really understand, I'm sorry. Is there a great backstory behind Thermoplug? There is, and from the top of my head, Thermoplug hated Galbin Megatork, and he wanted to become the leader, and then he let in some gas into Nobragon, and then Galbin tried to stop him, but it was a trap, and then they tried to stop him again, but it was another trap. But there's a bigger story behind it. It's locked away in Galbin Megatork's short story, which you can read up for free on the WoW website, or keep an eye on the channel, the YouTube channel. In about 3 weeks, I'll probably do the Galbin Megatork story, hopefully. And we'll also be talking about Thermoplug, of course. What is your favorite piece of music? Mine is Invincible. Invincible is indeed one of the better ones. Absolutely. I also liked Laminate of the Laminate of the Highborn. But there are a lot of good music pieces. My voice is dying on me. Fantastic. My teacher told me about butt plugs. What is a butt plug? Yanzai, you need to download 50 Shades of Grey. And you'll love the woman in that movie. Oh. Noble Senpai, bear my children. I do not think technology is ready. But once it is, I will gladly bear your children. End of expansion prediction. Thrall there for his own birth and realizes his parents got freaky, causing him to go insane. And be the final boss as he links Alternate Draenor to Stormwind, causing Siege of Orgrimmar 2.0. Or he sees his own mother in the back of the car and gets freaky with her. When will the Warcrimes project with final boss release? 2016, I think is the planning. Did you answer my question? I think so, Ludde. I've been keeping up. I've always been a major supporter for Vol'jin. I was ecstatic when the Helm of Warchief was passed on to him. What direction do you believe Blizzard will take him? Ooh, LJK, that's a good question. What we know from Vol'jin Shadows of the Horde is that the Low Out of Death, Bonsandi, he told Vol'jin that the victory earned was going to grind him into dust. Which is not a good sign. Let's just put it like that. But the way that they can take Vol'jin is a lot of ways. Right now, they're not really developing much of the whole Horde Alliance storyline. They stepped away from it. They were like, okay, we're gonna go to Draenor. The politics between the Alliance and the Horde are not gonna be fleshed out. But they can take it in so many ways. We do see more influences of Vol'jin, thankfully. We see more Shadow Hunters. We see a lot more stuff, so that's a lot of fun. But who knows? It's so hard to predict. What I think would be really cool... Like Metzen said that he would like to see a new war chief every so often. I don't think I agree with that one. I would like to see how Vol'jin deals with Sylvanas. And I would like to see Sylvanas enter the realm of the dead with Bonsandi. Get a little thing going on there. Maybe we can do Vol'jin with the Eye of Azora expansion, with the islands, with King Rastakhan. The opposite world, you know, there could be a lot of fun things to do with that. Who knows? What would you think about it if Night Elves found out that the Loon is an old god? Bum bum bum. Unlikely. Plot twist, which makes absolutely no sense, but I like how you think. Bitterball in Swedish is the angry penis? Say what? Pamela Redpath is the saddest. Pamela is also very sad, yeah. The whole Panda story is about balance, though, so the fact it came to trials, so all can try and achieve some form of balance, isn't too surprising. Maybe. But on the other hand, I mean, that's a major flaw that was Mr. Pandaria, which is Pandaren. Mainly Taranzu, but a lot of the Pandaren were very high and mighty. Like, you mustn't get angry. You mustn't show emotion. Because then you'll unleash the Shah. And we, as a Pandaren race, have been able to keep the Shah locked away for so long. And now you come here and it's all to shit. But at the same time, their island was hidden away in the mists. They didn't have to deal with the Burning Legion invasion. They didn't have to deal with the Lich King, or with Deathwing, or with whatever. All they had to do was the Mentit, who attacked on Clockwork. So, you know, it was like, oh, it's the end of the month, here come the Mentit. They got a little bit of Yongle going on, and that's it. And surprise, surprise, someone like Taranzu, who comes in like, oh, you shouldn't do that. He's the one of the first to be corrupted by the freaking Shah. So who the hell is he to preach? So the whole Pandaren philosophy, it's nice. to be added. It's a fun philosophy, but it doesn't add up when you take the grand picture with Azeroth. It just doesn't add up. Time to get back to studying. Alrighty, Hamzi. Good luck with the study, man. They could make Warcraft 1 and 2 and 3 remakes. That would be fun. Will we ever see the gnomes fully take back Gnomedragon? Seize luck. They still have it, man. And considering that the gnomes are part of the Alliance, I don't think we will see it happen anytime soon. Like, did my chat room die, or did we run out of questions? Garrus be like, Daddy, Daddy, I did stuff. Who been in a fight? Danger Dolan or Nixium? Like in the past, it would have been a no-brainer. In the past, I would have given it to Danger Dolan. Because, you know, he had a freaking Mohawk. And a Mohawk always wins. But now it's going to be a close call. We shall see. I think they should make an elf faction and make Sylvanas be a guest star. Here's another one from Lidde. What do you think Blizzard will do with Illidan? Since Chris Metzen has a raising boner for redemption stories, I myself would be stoked for Illidan return and maybe a Demon Hunter class. Yeah, but at the same time, that's going on for like 4 to 5 years now, Lidde. That they said like, oh yeah, we would love to do that. We'll have to look how we're gonna do it. It never happened. There are a lot of ways that they could bring him back. I've talked about this at the end of the Illidan Storm Rage video. But it's up to Blizzard, man. They've been talking about it for so long. It's the same with, oh yeah, Illyria and Turalyon. You're gonna need them for what's coming next. Have you seen Illyria and Turalyon? I haven't. So, yeah. Do I have any hair underneath my head? I do. It's just not a lot. Is Vol'jin married? Nope. Nope. The last that was affectionate to him was like this female troll that tried to get him to team up with the Zandalari. If at the BlizzCon and the Q&A the panel starts joking around and not taking the question serious, would you please rise up and tell them to stop fuck around and be nice and take things serious? I'll try... No. But I will walk away and protest. Is that a good alternative? I will be like... You guys... Are you ready? They're not... Do you see this shit? They're not taking us serious again. Okay, you ready? Good. You lead the Horde. You go like rise up, sons of the Hordes. You go be like for Lothar, for the Alliance. And then we rise up and we step out. Alright, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And everybody's like, roar! And they step out. And Blizzard will be like, what? What happened here then? Okay, everybody's gone. Tea break. But no, seriously, that was a really bad sketch, by the way. Even I found it boring. Look at all the reindeer stacking up. In all seriously, it's... I mean, you gotta understand that for a gaming company to take the time to organize something like BlizzCon, it does show them that they have a passion still for the game. It sucks when they don't take you seriously in a Q&A, it absolutely does. It's better to not have a Q&A than one of those shit Q&As that they had during the last BlizzCon. Absolutely agree. But also keep in mind that, you know, how many gaming companies do you know that are so connected to their fan base that they organize a con for it? Not that many. I've never had such a, I wouldn't say affection, but such a connection to a game than what I do with Blizzard. I'm going to BlizzCon, you know, and spending like $2,000 on it. There's a reason for that. Please have a sign prepared. This is crap. Who's gonna pick up the Doomhammer? Ooh! Beautiful. Asking about the saddest lore moment was a bad idea. I looked up all the stories you mentioned and now I'm sad. Aww. I would like more RPG in WoW, like the arrow stuff like that. Yep, me too. My last question, Furbolgs, how did they get corrupted? Usually it's because of some underground source, like the Furbolgs in Northrend got corrupted from Yogg-Saron. I know a couple of Furbolgs who got corrupted from Demon Blood or whatnot. But usually it kind of depends on what it is in the area. What weapon is Turalyon wielding? Mace or anything special? He has a mace and he had the broken sword of Lothar. But after that, for some reason he left it at Blackrock Mountain. And some speculate that Ashanti, Sword of the Brotherhood, is the reforged weapon of Lothar. But we're not entirely sure what happened to it. By the way, if you still want to join the group, I'll kick out some of the offliners. It's under Custom tab, Noble Q&A group, so if you want to chill in the garrison and make some selfies or whatnot, You're welcome to join me. Where's it under? It's under Selfie Q&A. Custom PvE. Come join if you want. What? Yeah, we have that one. I think that when Blizzard is done with WoW, they should do Warcraft 4 to finish off the old gods in Sargeras. Could be fun. What about a kind of PvP raid where 5 people play defense and 30 try to kill them? I was actually thinking about that. Some sort of King of the Hill thing. That could be really cool. Like, I like your idea, 5 versus 30. But what about a battleground? Picture this. A battleground where you have a massive circle and people can fight each other there. And the more you kill each other, the more buffs you can collect, right? And every so often, 2 people enter the ring and they fight each other. One-on-one, mano-a-mano, they fight. Whoever wins that one gets another buff, gets to stay in the ring, and another one joins the fight. Until, you know, you get to a certain rank, and then 2 will join the ring, and 3 will join the ring, and 4 will join the ring, until they simply overwhelm you and kick the crap out of you. I think that would be a really fun battleground, to be honest. King of the Hill kind of thing. Which character do you believe Blizzard ruined in terms of lore? Do you have a moment? Illidan, Killfuss, Dragon Aspects, Deathwing, Medivh, Medan. There's a shit ton of them, sorry. There are a lot of them that Blizzard really fucked over. How were the Pandaren race formed? I don't think that the origin story of the Pandaren is known. Some speculate that they are evolved furbolgs with the Well of Eternity back in the day. I don't think there's a clear ancestry when it comes to Pandaren, to be honest. It could also be that the Titans simply created them. We don't know. Do I have 20k achievement points yet? Nope. Almost. Why do they call Thrall Green Jesus? Because he can walk on water. And he can save the day. He can walk on water. And he can save the day. Why do we call him Green Jesus? I call him Wonder Boy, but also Green Jesus. You know, he's just... He's like a character that they took from a slave. Humble beginnings that tried to carve out a piece of the world. They took that and they turned him into the freaking Messiah of Azeroth. He was teaching Dragon Aspects how to be Aspects. He was kill stealing. He was taking on Deathwing. He was doing all that shit. And from that moment on, people were like, oh, this is not Thrall anymore. This is some sort of Green Jesus that is liberating and saving everyone. I think that's where it's from. Did he die for our sins? Uh-huh. What about an evil faction like the Starting Zone of the Decay? They could make raids and PvP still be in the normal race factions. Don't catch that one, Bubble Boy. If Blizzard ever did more with the Loa, what would you like to see? I would like to see more of the origin of the Loa. I would like to see where they come from. I would like to see their realm. I would like to see their abilities, because that's all very vague. So yeah. You probably said this a million times already, but where did you buy your WoW novels? I bought mine from a Dutch-Belgium online store called bol.com. If people ask me like where can I buy the novels, I usually recommend to just go online and type in a bookstore or look up a local, you know, local shop. Amazon is usually recommended, but for me it's bol.com. Maybe tempt them with a slice of bacon if they answer the questions good. Come on now. How's it going, Lootmorn? Lootmorn is going great, man. We got like, how far are we? Like 12 minutes left of Q&A, and then we're done. So it's going excellent. I'm having a wonderful day. Stream so far is a lot of fun. I'm thinking we should do like a Siege of Orgrimmar, but I'm also getting really tired and my voice is breaking up and I need to get some food, but we'll see. We'll see. How do I get into your garrison, Ludda asks. Go to the dungeon group thingy. And it should be listed. Like auto accept selfie Q&A group. Please present yourself as Noble on BlizzCon and see if there is some sort of recognition from the panel, because I feel like there has to be some. We'll see how it's gonna go, man. We'll see how it's gonna go. I think what Blizzard has done with WoW. How did Thrall teach the aspects of their powers? That was in the novel Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects, in which the Bronze Dragon Nosdormu was like trapped in time, and Thrall showed up and he told him that he should live in the moment. And that was good. He helped the aspects like Ysera. Ysera came to him to help out. He helped Nosdormu out of the dream. He helped Alexstrasza with coming over her grief for her beloved. Like this was Alexstrasza before Thrall showed up. This was her. Look at that! Look at that! Help me, Thrall senpai. I do not know what to do, Thrall. I am so sad right now. So he helped her with that. He helped the Blue Dragons with deciding about who should be the new aspect. You know, stuff like that. Oh yeah, and he killed... Well, not really killed. Did he kill him? Oh yeah, he went into his aspect form. And he killed this. This right here. So yeah. He did a lot of impossible things. What is your favorite question asked? Don't really have a favorite question asked, to be honest. I like all questions. Do you ever find yourself getting tired of the WoW lore? As the story keeps going on, I feel like they keep letting me down with certain things. Also earlier, I did mean Garrosh. My phone autocorrected Chromash. There you go. Shows how much I look of the lore. Myself getting tired of the WoW lore? I mean, there are always moments that you're like, not right now. But then there are moments that invigorate it. Like if you find out that they've data mined new sound files for the 6.2, or that you find out that your speculation turns out to be true, or, you know, the new short story. That's always fun. What I can always recommend, and that's not just for the lore, that's for everything, that's also for playing the game itself, that's for everything in life. If you get bored with something, especially when it's your outlet, when it's your hobby, when it's something for fun, and you find yourself getting bored with it, stop. Take a break. Absolutely take a break. It's refreshing. There's more to it in the world. And right now there's a lot of negativity around Waters of Draenor, which is absolutely valid. Absolutely is. But at the same time I also see a lot of people like, okay, now I'm really going to unsubscribe. You've done it now, Blizzard. And I'm like, dude, it's just a game. You know, I'm not gonna call Nintendo like, yo Nintendo, you know what? I'm done with Mario Kart. I am done. You have lost me, sir. Of course, that is a different setting because you don't have a subscription, of course. But the sentiment behind it is that it's just a game. And sometimes we forget that. So yeah, long story short, just take a break if you get bored with it. Will Bonsam be Vol'jin's method of straightening out Lady Sylvanas? Maybe. Could be interesting to see like lore, Loa lore combined with Sylvanas lore. Also to the previous question, if you're like one of those people that went up to Blizzard to tell them your reasons why you unsubscribed, that is an excellent thing to do. Feedback is always great. I'm talking about those people that post on the forums like, I'm gonna unsubscribe and that's just it. And they do it like 10 times and they never really unsubscribe. Those were the ones I was talking about. Before you leave hateful comments, I love your face, please don't hate me. Q&As, you say. Perhaps I do have a question. Remember, in Warcraft 3 Human Campaign, where Arthas takes the Frostmourne, you could hire Nerubian mercenaries. Do you think lost-living Nerubians can still exist in the depths of Northrend and come out later to seek help? Seeing as Bolvar is passive Lich King now. Do you mean Nerubians still tied to the Lich King, or Nerubians still uncorrupted? Because both ways, yeah, sure. If there's anything that Blizzard is good at, it's be like, yo, did it kill anything? It's still alive. So yeah. It's very possible, sure. What lore moment would you change so it could have been better? Not do Medan, so that Medivh's storyline stayed intact. Otherwise, don't take away the aspect their powers at the end of the Cataclysm. Your reasoning doesn't make any sense. I know that it's for the story, but please don't. And otherwise, don't take their ability to reproduce. But please do that. Have you more plans on making lore videos of classes like you did with the lights and who can wield it and why? Yep. At some point I just want to cover every single topic, so sure. WoW is not just a game, it's my way to spend time with the Noble... With time where Noble had been. I mean, sure, but, you know... Taking a break is no problemo, right? Nerubians that are alive, uncorrupted, without fear to be turned into the walking corpses. Yeah, there are still uncorrupted Nerubians outside of the instance, right? Aren't those the ones that hired us to clear out the instance? I think that was it. Let's see, how many minutes do we have left? Like 5 minutes. I think it's a good idea if we do like a little... Nah, 5 minutes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up the 5 minutes with the subscribers. Then I'm gonna open up this the chat room for a 10-minute quick fire Q&A. And then we're gonna call it a day. I think that's a great idea. Do you think it's possible to get Ogre as a new race in the next expansion? Yep, Ogre and Arakoa could be great. Will they do it? That's up to Blizzard. Just thought of it. Sylvanas and Illidan has long videos. Is there some other characters that would have that long videos from you? And could we get a little hint to what you've coming up for us in the next weeks? Akros, what I did with the Sylvanas video is I always upload on a weekly basis, right? My videos have a duration of between 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. But if it reaches the 30 minutes, I'll cut up and make it a 2-parter or 3-parter. Once that is done, I'll recombine them into a full version, which is just very easy to link it around, right? That way, I got one video that is just very easy to link around, and on the other side, you still have your weekly uploads. Now, I've had a couple of people comment, like, couldn't you do this in the first place? And I could, but it would also mean that I can't deliver content for 3 weeks, which sucks. I think it's better to cut something up than to give it to you and be like, okay, see you in a month. It's not a good business model. What I've got coming up is we've done the Q&A of the Kil'Thuzad story part 1. Part 2 is next Monday. Part 3 is the Monday after that. And then we're gonna do a Q&A. And then we'll probably do Gelwin Megatork in the Gnomes, but I'm not entirely sure about that one. So if you're wondering, like, will he add another big video? Yes, the story of Kil'Thuzad Sunstrider, once a part 3 is done, I'll combine them again. Full story, easy linking, done. Lord of the Warrior, once upon a time there was a guy who picked up a sword, he started slicing, and he called himself a warrior. Do you like the thought of Bolvar joining the Old Gods? Personally, I hate the thought because I'm done with the Lich King shit. You don't have a lot of people supporting it, Ludde. I know a lot of people who would love to return to the Lich King days, but Bolvar joining the Old Gods is a possibility. It definitely is a possibility. It's just that, especially with the whole Saronite thing going on, the Ice Crown build up out of Saronite, but you know, Bolvar's chilling right now, and who knows what it's gonna do with it. There's a beautiful story. Now tell of the hunters. Once upon a time, a dude picked up a bow, and he shot something, and he called himself a hunter. Sylvanas and Illidan could have teamed up to kill Arthas. A little sad it didn't happen. But then again, Illidan had to worry about Kil'jaeden breathing down his neck. Yeah, maybe if you knew about Sylvanas, maybe. Lord of the Monks. Once upon a time, Pandaren were enslaved by the Mogu. They couldn't use any weapons, but they taught themselves how to use, like it was Kang, first of the fist, or something like that. Who taught the Pandaren that they didn't need weapons to fight, they could punch. And then everybody was kung fu fighting. Ah! And that's the story of the monks. Chill it, get it? He's locked up in ice. Get it? Ah! I love Wrath of the Lich King. Oh, but I don't think they will deliver as they did, so I don't want another Lich King. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Lord of the Rogue. Once upon a time somebody was like, surprised! And then they stabbed him in the back. And so the Rogue was born. Man, I should make 10-second videos out of this, man. It's going great. It's like easy money. Easy YouTube monies. Oh, look, I can attack that person. Let me attack that person. Right, carry on. Carry on. Do we got any more? Got any more? I'm waiting. Do we got any more? I would like more lore for the Old Gods. Me too. And they're gonna release a comic in November, I think, which is gonna be more about the origin of Azeroth and the lore behind it. So yeah, it's coming. It's kept millions of views from that shit, right? I should just cut it up. I should just cut it all up. Who am I fighting now? I don't see my opponent anymore. You. Oh, it's probably a rogue. Oh, very, very exciting. Like beloved subscribers, we got a minute to go. Do we have any more questions? Or shall we call this Q&A to an end? I think we're gonna call this Q&A to an end. Make a 19,000 part story. The story of a rogue, daggers. Story of a warlock, evil magic. Story of a mage, magic. Okay, everybody. I'm going to call the subscriber Q&A to an end. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, as you are watching this, thank you very much for watching the end of the month subscriber Q&A. As always, like I mentioned before, you don't have to be subscribed to ask me questions. You can always send me a private message on Facebook. You can tweet me. You can YouTube me. You can subscribe to the Twitch channel. All the good things. I'm all over your internet. There's no getting rid of me. So beloved YouTube. See ya. And of course for you, Twitch, I ain't going anywhere. I ain't going anywhere. Just give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? First of all, we're gonna turn on the notifications. Is this the command? I hope so. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Unleash the hounds. Arrgh. Boom. Ew, that's not the right one. This is the right one. Yay, look at everybody. We are free. Howdy, everybody. Howdy. Right, let me just open up the window because it's freaking heating up in here. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. I'm gonna put 15 minutes on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen of the chat room, show me what you got. Rapid fire Q&A, go for it. Arf versus Illidan was kind of like Ner'zhul versus Gul'dan, right? No, not really. Ner'zhul and Gul'dan never really faced each other. I'm not gonna demo money this month. That's cool, Bubble Boy. I want you right now, right here in this stream. $1,000 per minute. I'm yours. Is there any lore for the Kazan goblins aside from Deathwing? Oh shit. Hang on. Plop. There we go. Is there any more lore to the goblins? Not really. That's the curse of new races added to the game. They just forget about them. What is wrong with my hair? There's absolutely nothing wrong with my hair. What's wrong with your hair? How do you spell monkey? M-O-N-K-E. M-O-N-K. Was Illidan's prison only for him or are there more prisoners? At first the wardens were mainly for Illidan. Later on their area of expertise grew and just upholding the laws of the Night Elves. Do you think Blizz could make the Naga work as playable race? Yes. I still find Warlords of the Realm to be okay, but probably the reason I'm not that hardcore and at the moment 7 Mythic, but I still find the game fun. 7 Mythic is pretty damn awesome though. Good to just find it fun. I'll take 2 years. What is Valen's staff called? No idea. What if Ra almost lost to Garrosh and then Vol'jin came out of the portal and shot an arrow through his heart? Would be awesome. If only. Have you ever had Jewish food? Don't know. Maybe. Don't think so. Monkey spell monk. Will you be my dog? Of course I'll be your dog, Gogeta. Come on now, you're Gogeta 1. Fucking hell. Walker 1, 2, 3, the Orc Peons and Tusks. Why don't they have it in WoW? They still have like the teeth going on, right? Probably evolution? Different model? I think so. Do you answer everyone on Facebook? Pretty much, Colonel Popcorn. It kind of depends if the question needs a reply. Like, yeah, sometimes people just leave me a comment and still I'll say like, thank you very much. So I try to reply to everybody for sure. My favorite color, Ferrari red or just black? But people don't say the black is color, so yeah. Why do you think they can make a Naga playable race? Because they can. I mean, somebody ever suggested to put a curse on the Naga, which gave them back their legs. That could be a solution. But otherwise, you know, it's their game. They can do whatever the hell they want. Now, Skill Jade, I know that Valen's alive. Good question. That is a very, very good question. I mean, you could say that Kil'Thuzz informed him about it. But we don't know, as far as I know. Why did Blood Elves turn from blue to green? Do they use the Fel magic? What do you think happened to Refyon? He's chilling on Draenor. No idea. What's up with the guys in the start zone of goblins? They turn up again in Uldum, and I really want to know why. What's up with them? I don't know which guys you're talking about. Alrighty, we're Master C, matey. Did the Gunane people play any major part of the WoW lore before the Cataclysm? Nope. They locked their walls, so they were hidden away. What will I ask at the Blizzard panel? If it's a lore panel, I will ask them to restore the dragon's ability to reproduce. If it's more of a game panel, I would ask them to add rewards to achievement points. Have you seen any hints towards the lore of the next expansion? Not really. There are two stories that are most likely. You have the Eye of Azora, which is the Naga N'Zoth Island expansion. And a thing suggesting that is that Eye of Azora was actually a Datamite name. They got a 6.1 model for Azora, and that story is still available. On the other hand, they could still go with the Burning Legion expansion, which is us going into space, taking care of Kil'jaeden, or they can do whatever the hell they want. It's Blizzard, and the Double P, happy birthday. Favorite class lore-wise? I don't really have a favorite class lore-wise, to be honest. What do you think of the inevitable invasion of Blinktrons? We know it's coming. We gotta get ready, yo. Gotta get ready. Strongest lore character, not including Titans, Old Gods. Do you remember the Sunwell? I do. And I remember Quel'Thalas. And I remember Faramore. I love the videos, thank you. Who would you say is your favorite lore characters? Vooral pre-Cataclysm, Medivh and Sylvanas, but there are a ton more. Arthas I really like, and there's so many characters and stories that I like. How long do you play WoW now? 10 years. Plus. Have you ever truly killed an Old God or just banished them? We only killed, quote-unquote, the physical manifestation of the Old Gods. The real thing is still down below. The only one that is really gone is Y'Shaarj, which was first taken out by the Titans, then absorbed by Garrosh, and we kicked the crap out of it, and now it's gone. Are you chilling with DD at BlizzCon? I expect many selfies with him. We'll see. I would love to meet up with DD. Do you think a Shadowhunter class is coming? No idea, but I would love to see it. But not all elves use Fel Magic. Is it like with the orcs? I imagine so. And those elves that really stayed away from Fel Magic, they remained high elves. They kept their blue eyes. Do I answer everyone on Facebook calling it popcorns? Yes. Did Medivh become more or less powerful than Aegwynn? I would say more, with the whole Sargeras thing going in on him. Yeah. How does the choosing class work? Like a person's born a specific class, or do they choose what they would be? Lore-wise, it's more of what path are you on. Like if you're born a farmer, you're gonna be a farmer unless, you know, you're somehow adopted or embraced by something. Sometimes you're called, like the elements can call to you, or the light is maybe a part of your life. Different origin stories to different classes. You think we will get a new race in the next expansion? I sure hope so. You think there's gonna be more racing classes? I sure hope so. You think ogres could ever become playable? I sure hope so. Are you a shower guy or a bath guy? On a regular basis, a shower guy, but I adore taking baths. Whenever I go to a hotel room, I make sure that there's like a freaking jacuzzi or a beautiful bubble bath or whatever. And, you know, just get a couple of strawberries and a nice cold champagne and a book or whatever, and you just lay there for 5 hours. And you're like, oh, it's so good. So, yeah. Whatever happened to Mal'Ganis? Showed up during Wrath of the Lich King and he was like, you will never defeat the Lich King without me. Vanished and never was shown again. Who knows where he is right now, but I'm sure that we'll see him again. Gecko, I'm good, man. How are you? Was the Holy Light used for the first Battle Mortal races? And who was the first ever Paladin? I'm uncertain who was the first ever Paladin. It's uncertain who was the first. But I would say the Deadeye, to be honest. How tall are you? I am 1 meter 90 centimeters. What happened to the Deadeye's home planet? And do you think they will ever fix their spaceship? Their spaceship is fixed, as described in Valen's short story. What happened to the home planet? It's taken over by the Legion, as you can read in the dungeon journal. If you go to Akendun and Azakel. On Argus, the former homeworld of the Draenei, now the stronghold of the Burning Legion. So it's now the stronghold of the Burning Legion. Lore said that they were going to do a Q&A on Monday. What will you ask? I'm not going to ask them anything. It's one of those setup Q&As again. How do I roll my tongue like you? You go like... Can you please just highlight that? I sure hope so. I need to link that to my friends. Have you heard that 6.2 is the last patch? Yep, but don't get your hopes up too much. That's my advice. We don't know what 6.3 is going to contain. It could be more content, but it could also be just an upgrade to the way of life. Is there any lore behind Ordos and the Young of the Timeless Isle? Yes, Ordos was told by the Fire Lords to set himself on fire, I think. And that turned into a demigod. Where am I from? I'm from the Netherlands. But now, Noble, important question. Where's the wedding between you and Lord Walker Cho? In Torwin Chapel. Do you think I'm making more... What? Will I make more videos like the erotic roles? Erotic history? I would love to do more stories like that. But the thing is, I don't have that many stories, or at least World of Warcraft doesn't have that many stories that lend themselves well to a machinima like that. If you have any suggestions, I'm more than open to it. If you know any in-game books that would be really cool to turn into a machinima, would love to do it. Story of Gammon. Check out my video called Who Will Be the Next War Chief, in which I talk in greater details. Gammon, NPC, bugged out, became a punching bag of the Horde, became a hero. Do you think Blizzard is going to announce a new expansion at BlizzCon? I would be very surprised if they didn't. Favorite mount, Invincible. How far are we from being powerful to face off against Sargeras' lieutenants? Pretty far off, to be honest, but we're... You know, power is always a strange beast when it comes to the lore. I mean, on the one hand, we take out things like Old Gods and Deathwing. On the other hand, there are still very powerful beings in the universe. Who's more powerful, Khadgar, Jaina or Thrall? Like I said, it depends on what the story requires. I would give it to Thrall. Archimonde is coming back in World of the Nether patch 6.2. What do you think that is? And are you excited? I am. Why do you think that is? Well, this is alternate reality Archimonde, as far as I know. And why? Because taking out Kil'jaeden would suck, because we still have our Kil'jaeden to take care of. And this alternate Archimonde would be really cool. Actually, fun fact, if you go back to my Story of Archimonde video, which was like 2014, at the end I kind of predicted how it was going to go down, which I'm still very proud of. Does Gammon have any deeper lore? Nope. Is Mr. Smite dead, along with Edward Van Cleef? Yes, as far as we know. Harrison Jones, he's pretty much Indiana Jones. Goes around Azeroth finding treasure. Bum ba bum bum ba dum. That's pretty much it. Story of the Siliphids. I've done that in the Kafun video. Pretty much, the Kiraji turned into Siliphids, and they started serving Kafun. Titan or God, one-on-one. I would give it to Titans. One-on-one? Old Gods, to be honest. I would give it to Old Gods. Do you think Alliance or Horde will conquer Azeroth? And if you do, who do you think will? If they're gonna go at it right now, it would be the Alliance, no doubt. But I don't think they will ever will. Are the Naaru actually the light? If they are beings of pure light? I think they are. I think they are the representation, the physical embodiment of the light, in which everyone pulls the light from, but it's not been confirmed. But that's just my take on it. What do you think of Archimonde final boss in Hellfire Citadel? Called it, and pretty damn cool. What if the Old Gods were corrupted Titans? Seems unlikely. How large are Titans? They are like bigger than planets. If you take Sargeras, for example, Sargeras stabbed a planet with his sword. That's how big Titans are. What do you think about stroopwafels? Lekker. This deadly important question. Where is Menkrik's wife? She dead. Menkrik found her and gave her a proper burial, man. She dead. Why are they called Old Gods? And are they any new gods? They're called Old Gods because they were there before the Titans. At least that's my take on it. And Titans would be the new gods. I have a question about Vanilla playing private server. There's Dalaran Alterac Mountains. There's a town called Kargaf in Badlands. There's Fedamore and Duswell Marsh. And there's Tormill and Hillsbred Fort Hills. Can you tell me more about them? Adamiki, I'd recommend just go to Wowpedia, man. And just look it up. That's a little bit too big to cover right now. I'm sorry. Ooh, what happened with Anatherium? No idea. Bath or shower? I did that one. Shower on a daily basis, bath when I can. Before the Sundering, where was the portal to the elemental plane of water and earth? Don't think there was one. Why can't Night Elves be paladins? Mainly gameplay, because they want to keep paladins somewhat unique. In theory, anyone who wields the light as well as a weapon could become a paladin. Do you live in the Netherlands? I do. Will you play any more Hearthstone? Maybe. I've actually been playing Hearthstone a little bit more. I don't think I'll be playing it tonight. But I was thinking about picking you up again. I'm having a lot of fun. Howdy, Sweden. Or Sweden. My pleasure, man. Thank you. Why did Kil'jaeden thought Velen wouldn't realize that he wasn't behind the Horde? I thought they were close because they were both smart. I don't think it was much about... what you read is that the Naaru who brought Velen and the Draenei to Draenor fell ill. And they had to make a crash landing, right? That information wasn't known to Kil'jaeden. And he couldn't just send his legion. They had nowhere else to go. So in this case he decided to go sneaky beaky like. He decided to corrupt the Horde. And it wouldn't have made any difference. Favorite race spec, and why is that? Human, Paladin, Retribution. Because I love playing it. What if Blizzard makes an NPC called Nobble? Just for you, what would you say or think? I would be ecstatic, I would love that. Okay, a little known fact about Night Elves. Little known facts. Night Elves are actually used to be dark trolls who evolved with the use of the Well of Eternity, and they became the Night Elves. What do you want to see in the Warcraft movie trailer? Orcs and humans and the story. That's the thing. It's going to be the thing that they showed at BlizzCon. So I already know what it was. Like, people drew out the pictures that you saw. It's not going to be exciting. Have I ever shed your pants? Yes. If I ever get money and go to BlizzCon or whatever, can I touch your face? Only if you ask me first. Don't come in and be like, oh my god, it's Nobble! Because then Nobble might be like, oh my god, I see something in the corner of my kabam! And let's not do those situations. Have I played the Warcraft tabletop RPG? Nope. Never. What are my favorite mounts? Invincible. Do you think there will be an Emerald Dream expansion? Nah. Emerald Raid maybe. Emerald Patch maybe. Expansion, not enough. Noble Poopbrook, haha. Just something was wrong with the Draenei? Kil'jaeden was like, just kill! If you want to play any old content, you have that option. But what about scenarios? Do you know a way, Nobble? It's lore after all. If you want to play an old content, you have that option. Oh, you mean how to queue up for scenarios? You can go to the Lore Walker Cho area in Pandaria and be like, queue me up for this and this scenario. You can go in there. You just need to bring some friends though. Would you like Dreadlords being playable? Oh, that would be very cool. What is your least favorite WoW playable race? Not lore-wise, but race you find most anti... mine are probably goblins. That was a difficult word for me. Like, I don't have any feelings when it comes to the races. For me, it's more either for the looks, or for their racials, or for their starting area. But yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. If you're gonna ask me, like, I know I'm getting a lot of hate for... No, I'm not gonna even answer that one. How did Magnerons come to exist? I've done that one in my story of Gorgrons. Magnerons were created by the Titans. Why are you crazy? You know... you know, sometimes life is just life, and life makes you crazy. Where's the Hammer of Uther? Oh, no idea. I know that Arvis's hammer is in Northrend. No idea where that weapon went. Are humans the youngest playable race in WoW? WoW? Uncertain. We don't know the origin of the other races. Where do babies come from? When a Hermione really loves her Draco Malfoy, then they get together and they go like smooch, smooch, smooch. And then Hermione goes like, it's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa! And Malfoy go like, oh baby, let me sliver in. Ha ha ha. That's how babies are born. My pleasure, Luda. Are Pandaren children creepy to you? Yeah. Next expansion prediction. My money is on Eye of Azora, which is Azora, N'Zoth, Islands, boats. Yup. Stop it, Ron. Archimonde was killed and sent to the Twisting Nether, right? If yes, can he and how can he return and can be banished forever? He was killed, and we're not certain if he was sent to the Twisting Nether or if he actually died. We don't know. We only know that Dreadlords go back to the Twisting Nether. All the other ones is still up for speculation. So who knows? But if they want to bring him back, they could be like, yeah, all demons go back. Like all dogs go to heaven, all demons go to the Twisting Nether. How far in are we? 60 minutes! I've been going too long! I've been going too long! Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. As much fun as we're having, I'm almost streaming for 4 hours right now, and I gotta go. I gotta make myself some food and stuff. You know, I gotta do some stuff.